or stand around and walk out here. Oh, hi there! I didn't see you in the shot that I clearly set up and framed myself. If you're watching me for the first time, hello, how are you? My name is Jonathan, but most people on the internet know me as Viralrak. And for all intents and purposes, I'm going to address you like I address my fans, the world of YouTube, as a part of the world of YouTube. And if you're a part of the world of YouTube, you may know exactly what this is. I do one of these every once in a while. This is my introductory video to the channel, telling you a bit about myself and what I do here on the YouTubes. Now, in order for me to do that, I'm actually going to show you a bit of a tour around a room I call the studio. So, come on, come join me. And this is the studio. It's where I film a majority of the videos that I make. But before we take a trip into this magical red box, and I tell you about the shows I do, a little bit more about myself. I'm a 21-year-old college student majoring in audio production. I do still currently live with my parents. You may have gripes with that. I don't. It's hard to get a place out in where I live and sustain it on your own while commuting to school. I have a lovely girlfriend who lives in Indiana. She might not be in any videos, but I do talk about her a lot, so if you're ever wondering who that is, that's who that is. Frequent collaborators with me on my channel. I will talk about them again later on. My best friend Jake, lovely video maker, check out his channel. My podcast compadres of Eric and Dusty, and a variety of friends. I actually have a small collective of friends who you will see as frequent faces on the channel. So while this is where I upload and make all the videos, I'm not alone. I do have friends that do like to make videos with me. If you're ever wondering what I'm doing, because I do rotate my shows around, I do add things, I remove things. I haven't in a while, but there is, I don't know what layout this is on, but there is a document, a Google Doc that I will link. It's always linked in the under thingy, which is what I call the links below, and it's most likely somewhere on the channel page called current and completed projects. That has my past, present, and future projects along with a list of my shows. I will also have the show listings on my channel somewhere. But yeah, that's where the list of all that is if you're ever curious. Without further ado, let's take a trip inside this lovely place. Now, where you are now is actually a little chair I call the discography review chair. It's where I sit and I do my biggest thing on the channel, the thing that really got me blown up as a content creator, discography reviews, where I sit down and discuss the entire catalog of an artist, excluding live albums that don't reinterpret the artist or band sound, or greatest hits compilations. But anything else aside from, again, singles and all that stuff is up for grabs. LPs, EPs, standalone singles, remix albums, B-sides and rarities, all that kind of stuff is up for grabs. And aside from that, I've broken off of that and done music reviews, which I do in this chair as well, whether I'm updating a discography review because the artists that I do review sometimes still make music, or it's just a record that I want to talk about that I do every so often, the whole discussing a single album thing. And while I don't make these as much as I'd like to, I do put a lot of thought into them, so if you do subscribe to me through my discography reviews, I always apologize for not getting them out as frequently as you may like because of my hectic schedule, busy life, all that stuff. But I do put probably the most work into my discography reviews / music reviews. They're the one thing that I handle very delicately, and I try to do with to the best of my abilities. Now, before I get on to the next thing that I do, I want to talk about, not this mic stand that's clearly in shot, that thing. It's the Door Fedora. It's a magical fedora that honestly takes you to magical places, and for me to get to the next part and talk about what I do in the next thing, I am going to have to use the Door Fedora to go away. So I'm going to go ahead and snag this thing, this magical fedora, and I will see you in the next section of the video, which will be instant for you. So, you see me here
playing Zombies Ate My Neighbors, transported into the world of Zombies Ate My Neighbors, quote-unquote, in this video. And the reason why you're seeing this game in front of you right now is because I'm going to be talking about the next aspect of my channel. The video game side. I'm not just a music show, or as you'll find out, a movie review show, or all this other stuff. Our channel. I do a lot of video game-based stuff as well. The biggest thing, obviously, that I do is Let's Plays, which if you don't know what that is, it's where you sit down and play a game with your commentary over it being comical, witty, informative, or a combination of the three. And the games I play are a variety of games. I do classic games, retro games, modern games, obscure games, independently released games. It just all depends on what I'm in the mood for, or what you guys like to see. The system for that I have in place is called the grid system. For the 6 LPs that I do, you guys have a hand in upvoting and deciding when I get to do them. I have it always linked in the description of my Let's Play videos, where you can see what games I am doing, and what games I'd like to do. And the only rule for that is if you request a game and I haven't done, and it's a sequel and I haven't done the original, I won't do it. The system itself hasn't really gotten much play yet, because it's something that I haven't, as of filming this video, gotten the chance to really experiment with. There's a lot of dedicated tiers that I'd like to do first before I really get this side of the project rolling. But as for Let's Plays in general, I do 6 of them at a time. It used to be 4. I upped it to 6 not too long ago, about 6 months ago, or actually about a year ago. And the games I'm currently doing are on screen. 2 of the games, the side LP games, sometimes get rotated around. I'll switch them out. But those are typically the longer running time based games, because I like to swap them out and dip into new things and go back to old things a lot more often with those. And those are my choices, typically. And if people don't really participate in the steering system, so will the other ones. But yeah, that's pretty much what that is in that. But some days I can't post a Let's Play because of my schedule. I don't even get the chance to record a session of that because I'm a busy guy. I do a lot of stuff outside of YouTube as well. So in the instance of those, I'll post one of 2 things. It'll either be a Let's Compete, where I sit down with a friend and we play through a game competitively. We're not really, keeping track of who's the winner. We just kind of do it for fun. We just sit down and play a game against each other for X amount of time. Or I'll also do a one-off video, typically a one-off video, called a Let's Arcade, where I'll sit down and play an arcade game and explain how the game works. It'll essentially be a one-off Let's Play episode. Sometimes I'll go back and play other arcade games again if they have a progressive story that I can beat. But a lot of times it's just a one-off arcade video where I sit down, play a game, tell you how it works. If there's a story, I'll explain it, but typically, more often than not, there isn't. But yeah, that's pretty much the Let's Play chunk of this video. Just me telling you how I play, or how I control the Let's Play side of my channel. They are regulated. These are the only things I have that really have a regulated schedule. I post them twice a week, Monday and Friday. 3 games on Monday, 3 games on Friday. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you are wondering if I do post those the most, I do. But I also try to add the camera-based content as frequently as possible. Let's come back to me in the real world and see where I end up, shall we? Let me tell you, that never gets old. Now, this right here, this lovely spectacle of stuff, is the Viral Wall. It's basically a wall of things, pictures, trinkets, things that people have given me, I've acquired over the years, that I want to put on a wall that kind of sums up a lot of ish. Now, in front of this wall, I do film a few of the other things that I do on the channel.
One of the big ones that I do that I've seen to be switching up where I film it every now and then is a show. This one actually has a name, the rest of them really don't. Called Viral's Movie Reviews, where I review movies that you guys suggest to go to the movies and see, or I feel like discussing. Now, like many of the other things I do, those come in, bursts. Here, there, one there. There's no set schedule to them, which is kind of my mantra to things, aside from Let's Plays, which I've already talked about. Other than that, it's simple. I just review movies. Pretty straightforward. I do take requests for them. The requests, like music reviews, which I didn't mention, I do take requests for things. I don't want to say that I have problems getting to them, but I sometimes have problems getting to them. Whether it be we don't own the movie, it's not on Netflix, it's harder for me to see the movie than it typically would be. And I do apologize because I love getting requests, and I've been trying to oblige them as good as I can. Another thing that I do on the channel, usually in front of the viral wall, is a thing called the YouTube Critic, where I don't review, but I more discuss YouTube channels by all grouped around one, like I've done Tobuscus and all of his channels. And I more discuss my feelings on the channels, the content creators themselves, their philosophy behind it, all that stuff. There's nothing else other than that. And I do take requests for those as well, so if there's someone that you want to see me talk about, I am more than happy to do so. And that's mostly where a lot of requests get fulfilled, is that show and the movie reviews. Another thing I do, I make lists. Everyone loves lists. I love lists, but I don't do top 10s, I don't do top 15s, or 20s, or 25s, or 50s. I do top 11s, because I really like the number 11. I don't go one step beyond. I just really like the number 11. Pretty straightforward. Make a list of something, talk about said list on video. Those come out, like everything, just whenever they do. They happen naturally, all that kind of stuff. And that's a lot of the stuff that I actually do film in front of the viral wall, and that's kind of about it. So the rest of the stuff, we'll go ahead and leave the studio and explore elsewhere. I guess we can look around the studio a bit more. I can show you a bit more of it while I tell you what I do. So let's do that. Never mind, I've changed my mind. We're going to go ahead and take a little walk. Make sure you're unzoomed. You are. Because the next thing I'm going to talk about is vlogs. We're back outside. There's my cat, Mixer. Vlogs. I'm a vlogger. I'll spend a day vlogging. I did Vita this past April. That was a challenge, let me tell you. Vlogging is no joke. It is kind of it's not a joke. It's not something that's all too serious, but it's fun to document your life and all that sort. And I do that on the channel. I'll spend a day filming. I usually film about 10, 15, or I'll film about 30 minutes of a day. Condense it down to about 15, 16 minutes, if that much happens. And put it up for you guys to see. A bit of a summary of how my day goes, if I decide to vlog the day. I try to do it on days where stuff actually happens, but like I said, sometimes I'm taking a project like Vita, where I'm just vlogging for the sake of vlogging, to challenge myself as a video maker, and all that sort. Other things I do on the channel, occasionally, they're not like a set thing that I do that has its own playlist or anything, but I do discussionary videos. I'll bring up a question and discuss it on the channel every so often. That's also something I don't do terribly often, like I said, but it happens every now and then. I do a lot of video responses, where that does have its own playlist, where I'll expand upon the thought of a video. If someone poses a question and I have a lot to say about it, I'll make a video about it. It's fun to do, fun to sit and film a response to a video. It's nice. Outside of that, I do skits every now and then, but those don't happen. Those happen less than anything else, because I've been trying to be serious with it, write scripts, all that sort of stuff. And in fact, between now and the last update, I put up one skit, one. But that's what's under the Pretty Random Awesome playlist and all that sort. I came back in here to grab some stuff so that I can film inside. So this may be the only rough cut of the video outside of the Door Fedora thing. So I'll see you guys inside, where I will get comfortable and finish up the video. So now that I've talked about all the stuff that I do on my channel, I'm going to talk about my presence on the internet in general. If you ever want to keep in touch with me, my Facebook, my Tumblr, my Twitter are all always linked below if you want to check them out. Along with various other links, my 2 other channels are always linked below, and they're always linked on my channel page. If you didn't know, I do have 2 other channels, one dedicated to music / poetry occasionally, and the other dedicated to Minecraft, which I rarely ever update the other 2, because I'm always focused on this channel in school, so those 2 channels don't get a lot of love, but I feel bad because they are there, and I do want to do stuff for them. I just don't ever have the time. But those are 2 other channels I have. In the description below as well, along with all of those links, are 2 other links to people that I randomly threw in my, well, not randomly, I thought out putting them in the description, and they've just stayed there. My best friend Shake, his channel is always linked below, and it's always linked below whenever we collaborated, so it's located twice in the under thingy whenever we collaborate, but he's always down there because he's my best friend. On my girlfriend's store, because she knits things. As of filming this video, she is currently revamping her store. So, yeah, I don't know if it'll work at the moment, but whenever she does have it vamped up, it'll be a thing. I'll probably bring it up in a video. And outside of those links that are always below, if you ever want to check out anyone else that's also awesome, that gets my full endorsement, check out the other channels box on my channel. There are people that usually constantly make videos. They're always in my other channels box because they're awesome people. They're friends of mine in varying degrees of such. But the people that are linked in my other channels box, always awesome people. They get my highest endorsement. Go check them out. And I guess the only other thing I'd talk about that it completely slipped my mind for some reason is I do a podcast here on the internet, which you'll also see videos for whenever we're live. We do it live on Twitch TV. It's put together by my friend Dusty, and it's me, him, and Eric, the guys that I did the Mario Let's Play with that are frequent collaborators. We do a podcast. We have been for a few years now. It's called the Analog Input Podcast. That link will be below on this video as well if you want to go and subscribe to Dusty's Twitch account, because he streams at random times, but we also do the podcast there, and I'll make videos. I'll post it to Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. You'll see when I'm live if you'd ever want to come by and join us. We typically talk about video games, but we really talk about a broad variety of topics. Sometimes we get on music kicks. It just depends on the mood that we're in that day. So if you want to check that out, it is also linked below and on the channel page if you want to go and scope it out. But with that said, I'm going to wrap up this intro video. If you do like what you hear me talking about, if I do pique your interest, I don't typically ask this. I do in these videos, though. You can subscribe if you would like. I don't ask for subs just because I just never do, except for, again, in these videos. But if you do, I'd like to have you as a subscriber. You seem like a cool person. You've sat through this entire video of me talking about what I do, introducing you to my channel. So, yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. You got niceness in your heart, and I appreciate it. But either way, I'm gonna go. Typically I have another lead into another part, but I don't with this. So. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Again, hopefully my channel does pique your interest. I have been Viralrak. You guys have good days, lives, and situations, and I will see you another day. Yeah. Yeah! What the fuck? Oh my god.